Hello. I'm going to add my wonderful co-host, Jasmine. Um, we are so excited to bring on Mamas with Stories live. Yes, we cannot wait to have these conversations, share these things. Y'all, we have been ready to do this for so long. So long. So we want to take all your questions. Hello, Fred.
Hey girl, hey. Going on.
I am so excited. Okay.
Me too.
Sharing our stories, just doing it live, doing it now, making it official. Um, so okay. Well, let's do our intro. So, welcome to Stories from Mamas Live, hosted by me, Dr. Sha'Rose and Jasmine Mitchell. We are going to be bringing this to you consistently. Okay? Don't hold us to what that looks like. We don't know what consistency looks like as moms, as business owners. We don't know, but it will be consistent. So today, we are just going to, we are going to dive into being a mom, who we are, how we got here, and the conversations. Look at that in true mom form.
I think he heard me talk and woke up.
Oh, and transparency, right? Our little buddy is sick, so
Very, very sick.
we get it. We absolutely get it. It's that time of year, but with kids, little ones, it feels like it's always that time of year. So yeah, that's really where we want to start. Like, friend, do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first? Like, how do we become a mom?
I don't know. Birds and the bees, that didn't quite translate to reality because I don't know what birds and bees is. You and daddy. Okay, go daddy.
No, for real, because I remember like way back when. So I am by career in nature public for a physical therapist, but in my little early years, I used to tell people I was a doctor. I did. Like I
You're a
was like 12
doctor.
years old. Like I literally would win every argument with being like, I'm a doctor, you can't argue with me.
And you are a doctor, and we still can't argue with you,
I
so.
mean, when I say I got 20 years of experience, like 10 of them didn't really count, but it doesn't matter.
That is real experience. Yeah.
But like as one of 6 kids, I thought I was gonna have this big family. Like I didn't want to be married. So I wanted 5 kids, but no marriage. Okay. Don't ask me
Okay.
how that made sense because I didn't want to be a single mom either. I don't know. The math made sense. It
Okay.
made sense. And then I met my husband.
Michael.
We met each
It's
other in
me.
high
Go
school.
give it to him.
Started dating in college, and then from there, I was like, oh no, this makes sense. I'm married now. I'm gonna have a kid. I might have another one. Yeah, and that's how I became a mom. That's where I came, like where it started for me.
Mhm.
Did you want to be a mom?
Um, I cannot say that I did or did not want to be a mom. Um, I've always had very mother-like tendencies. Like it's a running joke that I'm the mom of all of my friend groups.
Yep.
Um, but I don't know that it was ever like on my short list of just goals of things I wanted to accomplish.
Yeah.
Um, but it just you become a mom, and for me, it honestly just came. And I don't like to use this phrase because I don't think it's something that just happens. But for me, it was just kind of natural for me to
Mm.
just, mother, because it's something I've always done. Being an older sibling or the oldest
Yep.
sibling, I've always been the
Yep.
caretaker and the one who you're responsible for, your siblings' actions. And
Yep.
so parenting it wasn't foreign to me. So motherhood, it wasn't a challenging transition to make as far as knowing what I needed to do and how to show
Yeah.
up, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Let's talk about that for a second because same, right?
Mhm.
I'm the second oldest of 6 kids. Like, I remember my older sister, we used to get in so many fights because she was not responsible. Like, I was the one who was responsible. And I'm like, you're 4 years older than me. What's happening?
Mm-hmm.
And I was the one who was watching our younger brother, and then even our youngest siblings. Like, my youngest sister is 12. So, like, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
um, yeah, so I've always been the one that was parenting, right? Changing diapers and things like that from such a young age. So it made sense that kids were a part of my life.
Mm-hmm.
I'd already been doing it. But as a parent now, and I'm gonna be very transparent, like I get
Oh,
tired. Like,
absolutely.
to me, if you know how I joke about being a doctor for 20 years, I feel like I've been a parent for 20 years.
Yeah.
And my kids are only 3 and 6. Okay. So, like, it's exhausting to be that responsible older sibling and having to parent, but now I got my own kids that I got parents. Like, shit, I'm tired.
Yes. 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 Oh, yes.
Okay. We just
Mm-hmm.
had to talk about, we just had to put some words to that. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But okay, so we saw your little one. How many children do you have, Jasmine?
I just have the one. Two if you count the dog, and I do because I don't know what happened after I had my son, but the dog has transformed into a human of some sort. And
Yeah.
yeah, but just the one child. I think, one kid, that's the perfect amount of children. Two kids, you're doing too much. Three kids, you've lost your mind, but
Damn.
to each their own.
Shots fired. Shots fired. Okay.
It's just, I just, but also it, in that same sentiment, I honestly believe that motherhood, you have to be a certain level of just kind of like off your rocker to do it and to do it well. Only because you have to show up in spaces where you're continually criticized. And I say that like your little people, they're never really satisfied. It's never enough. You're always the bad guy. It's like
Oh,
it's a real abusive relationship.
listen.
And I don't think people without children really grasp that. Like we laugh and we joke about it, but if this was an adult or another adult human, we wouldn't put up with the crap that we put up with.
Right.
And so to show up every day as a mom who's giving their best, you got to be a little off your rocker a bit because it is one of the most trying things for me that I've ever been through. And
Listen.
I done been through some shit, friend. Okay. But this one right here was like, oh, okay. Yeah. Like, and for example, it's just a little like funny, I guess, funny thing that I went through. But Jordan was choking. Um, Eating grapes. I don't want to hear it. I already know. Kids and grapes. Everybody's gonna lose their mind. But my kid eats grapes. Okay, he eats whole
As
grapes
he
because,
should.
and we were sitting in the living room. He's eating grapes. He starts, choking. We always give him time to figure it out because it's part of growing
Being
up.
independent. Mm-hmm.
Um, but this particular time, he wasn't figuring it out, and then his face started to change colors a little bit. Being
Right.
trained in first aid and CPR,
Yeah.
I did
Yeah.
the thing. You flip him upside down. You're giving him back blows. Mike was like, okay, he got it out. I put him down. I kid you not. This little boy was looking at me at the corner of his eye, like, and I was like, "Are you okay?" He wouldn't answer me. He wouldn't talk to me. And so, I was like, "Do you need some space?" And he was like, "Yes." So I was like, I left him alone. I tried to talk to him again. He was mad at me for hitting him. Um, and I mean, I kid you not, he didn't talk to me for the rest of the day.
You hurt
It's like,
him.
forget the fact that I saved his
You
life,
saved
but
his
like,
life, but you hurt his feelings.
but that's just like, it's the dynamic that you're constantly dealing with all the time. Like,
Yes.
you're always the bad guy. You're always, doing something that they don't want you to do. So,
Yeah. But they want to be under you the whole time. Like, in the past week, I've been a bad mama. I've been a poopy mama. I've been not their best friend. I've
mm-hmm,
been the worst. Daddy is my best friend. I
mm-hmm,
don't even want you to be my mama no more. That's just 7 days. Okay.
yeah.
And that was just because I told him we had to go home from the park.
Oh, dare you take your children home from the park? Oh my
Um,
goodness.
we had to brush our teeth for bedtime. Okay. We have to take
Hmm.
a nap. Okay. Like these are the things, these are normal life things that they have to do. And, so if I listened to the words that my children said to me, I would be a very crumpled up, just a non existent person.
Hmm.
So,
Absolutely.
for reference, okay, how old is Jordan?
Jordan is
2.
2.
He's
Hmm.
so cute. So cute. Yes. Oh my goodness. And I have two boys, 6-year-old and 3-year-old, and they're all boy. I mean, you
Hmm.
get it. You see it. Just the willingness to throw themselves off a couch and almost kill themselves every day.
Every day.
Um, every
Every day.
day. The one thing folks do not talk about is that the number one role in our life has become keeping our children alive.
What?
Why didn't anybody tell us that that was going to be the 99% of what we do every day as a parent?
What? I've heard it stated, and it started to make sense. It's like raising small children is very similar to trying to take care of a drunk, suicidal raccoon.
Jesus.
And when you think about, but when you think about it, like they don't have any balance.
Nope.
They're not good on their feet.
Nope.
They make decisions that they clearly have not thought about. Um, anything that is a close to death announcement. Sorry, email just popped up that said announcement. Anything that is like a close to death experience, like jumping off of furniture, or trying to slide head first backwards down the slide, or they want to try it, especially like boys. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
They are very much into unaliving themselves.
Mhm.
Mm.
Mhm. Now, as a kid, were you like that? Like, not reckless is the only word that comes to mind, but like just adventurous.
Um, I don't I don't think I was as adventurous.
Mm.
The one the similarity that I do see in my child, I was always kind of a more high intelligent child,
Mhm.
um very much emotionally aware well before my time.
Oof.
Um and
Yes.
so I see a lot of that. My sister was more of the high energy, like jumping off of everything, climbing up trees. Like we ended up in the hospital with her every year because she broke something or decided to play dodgeball with rocks with our neighbors. And
Jesus.
yeah, like, so that part of him, I think, is a lot more my sister than it is me.
But it's in the genetics.
Hmm.
It's in there.
It's in there.
Okay. So as a kid, it's funny. So you said something about like the emotionally aware, and
Hmm.
like I have always been emotionally aware. So as a kid, I realized that I was the emotional support kid for my family, for my grandma, for my mom. Like that was my job, the emotional
Hmm.
support. And as an adult now, I took a lot of space from my family, but as an adult, I still go back and I'm still that emotional person that allows them to feel their feelings, but I take it on.
Hmm.
Right? No worry that I got into a service based career where I take on emotional stuff from people, right? Where did that come
Mm,
from?
I wonder, because same.
Right. Right. So like I see it now and I'm like, oh, I don't want that for my kids. I don't want you to be my emotional support. That's not your
Mm,
job as a kid, right?
yeah.
Not
Yeah.
knocking the older generation. They did what they did. They did better than the generation before them. So I get that. But like now I'm a highly emotional, person. I understand like I've been doing this for so long.
Hmm.
I'm tired. I've been doing a lot of shit for so long.
And that emotional, I'm gonna say emotional trauma because I mean,
Yeah.
having to deal with a lot of this stuff, it is. Oh, I'm sorry, my friend just had her baby at like 2 o'clock this morning. Oh,
Yay!
congratulations, friend.
Mama.
Oh wow, I'm about to cry. Um,
Yay! Oh.
um, but yes, emotional, having to carry emotional weight at such a young
Mm-hmm.
age. Um, Even though you carry it well, being a child that is highly emotionally aware, especially when you don't know what it
Yep.
is that you're dealing with or carrying, it's exhausting.
Yep.
There's a lot of trauma, especially as you become an adult, that is involved. Um, I didn't spend a lot of time and money in therapy trying
Whew.
to, sort through these different things. And so, yes, dealing with a highly emotionally intelligent child, you got
Hmm.
to check yourself. I am always, and I was texting my therapist this morning because it was like, what happened? I was texting my therapist this morning just because I felt the heaviness of things that I was dealing with,
Yes.
and it's I my one of my biggest goals. I refuse to pass the things on to my son,
Yep.
because it's not his responsibility. It never should be his responsibility.
Yep.
Even as a 30-year-old, it should have never been. It
You're
still is
right.
not my
Correct.
responsibility to sort through and navigate the emotions of my parents, even though I still have
Right.
to. Um, but if we don't deal with our emotions and our
Hmm.
trauma as adults and as parents, then we do pass it on to our children, whether we intend to or not. Not dealing, we make the decision to hand it to our child,
Yep.
even if we try to say that we're not doing that. That's exactly what we're doing.
Listen, I love to tell my 6-year-old, I'd be like, look, dude, you are responsible for your emotions. Because he'd love to be
Yes.
like, oh no, my little brother, he made me do this. He's making me so mad. No, no, no. Your reaction is anger. Your
Hmm.
response, because it doesn't matter what anyone does. This has happened at school multiple times where people don't realize what the other person did to you. They don't care. All
Hmm.
they know and see is your response.
Yep.
And so that's the only thing that matters. And
Yes.
like, I can say up and down, I know I have a very sensitive, sweet, kind child, but what they're seeing is this angry whatever kid. And
Hmm.
so you have to be responsible for your emotions and understand that people are gonna make you mad, people are gonna make you sad, they're gonna disappoint you, and you're still responsible for how you react.
Hmm.
Right? Because y'all piss me off all the time.
Yeah.
Okay? And I don't go around beating you the way I want to.
Okay. Yes, and teaching them how to respond to those feelings. Like, yes, you can be angry, you can be frustrated, you can feel every last one of your
Feel
feelings, but
yes.
what do you do when you feel those feelings?
Yep.
Like, even with Jordan now, I mean, since he was old enough to understand the things that were coming out of my mouth, um, you can be frustrated. You can be angry, but we don't throw things. We don't
Mm.
bite. What do? We squeeze our
Mm-hmm.
hands. We can punch pillows.
Yep.
Smell the flowers, blow out the candles,
All
like
that. Yep.
any of the things. And I can tell you, there was not a time I remember anybody ever sitting down with me and saying, okay, I see that you feel things
Uh-huh.
deeply. This is how you
Yep.
handle it. And that lack of preparation, I'll be the first to say that I was a very emotionally driven
Yep.
um, person for a long
For a long
time.
time.
Even now, it's a constant battle with myself
Yeah.
to navigate my feelings. It because I still feel things very big.
Yeah.
It's still the person that I am, but I know I have to take the time and do the work. And okay, let me go outside. Let me just get some fresh air. Let me sit here and breathe.
Listen.
Let me just take a drive around the block or take a walk, or let me go to the gym and go lift some weight and get out some frustration. But teaching our kids how to deal with the feelings that they're feeling and
Yeah.
not making them feel bad for having
Because we
feelings,
all
especially
do.
especially with our boys, our little black and brown boys.
Girl.
You are allowed to have feelings. You are
Mm-hmm.
allowed. This is always going to be a safe space for you to be vulnerable, but there is a way to be vulnerable safely
Correct.
also.
Because you're not gonna be disrespectful. Because that's the other thing. Because you're not gonna be disrespectful, and you're not gonna hurt someone just because you're hurting.
Yes.
Okay, like feel these emotions, all these things, but you're not gonna say it because 6-year-old got upset at my husband the
Mhm.
other day, and it was because they fight over food. That's their thing. They fight over food. I don't know.
Mhm.
And he was like, "Well, I don't want you to be my daddy anymore. You're not even a good daddy. I just wish I didn't even have you as a daddy." And I said, "No, no, 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 no. You are not gonna disrespect. First of all, I got his back, right? Like it's me and him against these kids. But like, you're not gonna be disrespectful and rude to him because you are in
Yeah.
an emotional state right
Yeah.
now. Your state is temporary, but
Yes.
what you say can be permanent.
Yeah.
Okay." So
Ooh.
you are not going to disrespect him and you are not going to sit here and say things that are, rude and mean because you are feeling these temporary emotions.
Yes.
Of course he got mad at me and blah 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 and figured it out, but we're growing little mini human like adults, right? Our
Yes.
goal is that they're able to grow, leave us, please leave us. You are not living with me forever. Leave us, but know how to handle this shit on your own. Like
Yeah.
you're not going to be 13, 14 trying to control your emotions that you just suddenly have grown to know. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you've had them your whole life. We need to
Yes.
give you the tools now to be able to handle that when you get these bigger emotions, because they seem big now, but I guarantee you, teenage years, they get bigger.
Oh yes. Oh
And you are
yes.
bigger.
Oh yes. And even in those teenage years though, for myself, I remember still having big feelings, even bigger feelings. Like you're
Mm-hmm.
going through all these hormonal changes
Yep.
and, puberty and things. And I still like it just stands out to me so much. Nobody ever sitting down and being like, hey, okay, this is a normal part of your growth and development. This is these are normal things that you're
Yeah.
experiencing. But and this is how you deal with them. But it was always I always remember feeling or being told like you're doing too much, like you're
Ooh,
so dramatic, it's not that deep,
too much.
go sit down, go pray about it.
Yep.
um you're just doing a lot, you see things the wrong way, like stuff like that. And
Yeah. Undermining.
it starts in the beginning, like just making sure you are giving space
Yep.
and guiding your little people down an appropriate path when it comes to those feelings, because they're coming.
Girl.
But which direction are we going to let them take us, you know?
I work in therapy now on being too much because I'm like, this is what you get, okay? People who see me, like, I compartmentalize so well and
Hmm.
like too well, right? Because I've had to. Part of
Hmm.
it is being like, I went to very many predominantly white institutions, just, but that was the come up, right? From my
Yeah.
mom.
Hmm.
That was, we're in the nice part of the neighborhood, in the nice schools. But like, part of it is compartmentalized, like, oh, I can't show these white people
Yes.
what I do. I can't, you can't let them hear my
Yeah.
slang. I can't let them, okay, like, so part of it is like bringing and bridging together all these parts that I felt needed to be separate. And like that too much part is also part of it. Whereas like as a
Hmm.
kid, I was too much. I was too emotional. I cried too easy. It was too
Hmm.
manipulative. Like I just have big emotions that I can't even control. I have
Still
them
do.
now.
I
I cry
I
now.
I still do. Okay.
You get it. Like I literally will be I cried one time. I swear to you, like outside of pregnancy, probably like 3 months ago, I put away my laundry and I cried because I was so happy. Okay,
Oh.
I was so happy. I put away my laundry, and my husband's like, "Why are you crying?" I said, "I don't know. I don't know, but it's a big feeling." Okay,
Yes. No, I get it. I
30
get
plus
that.
years old, and we still don't know these emotions. Like, how the hell am I supposed to figure that out as a kid?
Listen, let me tell you something. My therapist earns her money.
Don't
Okay.
they?
Because even today I text her, we've had a session already this week.
Damn.
I this morning I was like, excuse me, ma'am, don't care what time it is. We got to talk. Um, and I think that's another thing that's very important. Allowing your children to see you doing the work.
Ugh,
Um,
which can be so hard.
and we're very open with Jordan, because Michael and we both do therapy individually and together.
Yep.
And I am a person that believes that therapy is preventative care, just like going to your doctor regularly.
And or your
Um,
physical
yeah,
therapist, preventative care. Okay, why are we
yes.
fixing things after they broken?
Well, because the doctors will only send us to y'all after something
That's true.
breaks, so
That's true.
they won't give it. I had to beg for my referral to
I
my
know.
physical
Oh, we gonna
therapist.
have to. We gonna talk about
Woo!
that. We go. Whew.
That's a whole nother story. Um, Man, I forgot what I was saying. Oh, therapy, letting your little people see you, letting them see you do the
Yeah.
work. I think that the generation that raised us, we were always taught to just be so buttoned up and put together when we go
Yeah.
out in
Oh
public.
man.
Um,
From our outfits to our hair.
Yes, and even I know you mentioned being in a predominantly white neighborhood and
Yeah.
school. Growing up in a highly religious household,
Yes.
being in church all the time, and being a family name that was very well known in the church area in which I grew up,
Mm.
um, it was always like hair done, church close together.
Yep.
You pull your attitude together. I mean, me and my family could like be in the car not talking to each other, but as soon as we walk in the church door, oh my goodness, like, oh, we love everybody.
Yeah.
And it teaches you like masking to the most like detrimental level.
Girl.
And you don't know that it's okay to just not be okay sometimes. Like,
Ugh.
I'm
You,
still
I swear
learning.
you were in my therapy session 2 days ago. Like,
Because I mean, it's a lot, and I think I know that the generation that raised us, they were doing their best,
right.
because you did have to put on a front, especially as Black and brown
Yeah.
people. You have to be so put together to be
Yep.
accepted, to get the jobs, to be in these positions. So I understand it now,
Right.
but as a child, who was still growing and developing, it's like I don't understand all of this fakeness, but obviously this is the correct thing to do.
Right.
And me having all of these feelings is inappropriate.
Yes.
And that's kind of what it teaches you.
Yep. That's literally what we're undoing in
Yeah.
therapy. Okay. Look,
Yes.
I think this is great. Like having a background of like where we're coming from
Mhm.
and how we're now choosing to raise our kids, what that does, and how we choose to be moms in that way. Like I love having this conversation because honestly, I don't really get to have these conversations with people.
Mhm.
We don't get time to sit down and be like, shit, how did we get here? Like, how did we decide? Yeah, I'm gonna have a human and like raise it and also deal with my own shit that I was raised with and like we all gonna be okay. Like,
Mhm.
how did we get here? And so this is what, Stories from Moms is about.
Yes. Yes. I don't think any of us, well, personally, I know I did not realize how much of my inner child I was going to have to re-parent
Yes.
after becoming a parent.
Yep.
Um, and I saw someone online saying that parenthood, when you have small children, is actually you getting to live out those years that you weren't conscious enough to be aware of.
Yeah.
And literally going back and seeing like, wow, I see where I got this from. Like I see how this happened. And
Yeah.
then making the choice to do things differently for your kids. And I don't say better.
Right.
And I didn't say better on
No,
purpose
it's
because
different.
I think each generation we do get better. Well, some of us make the
Right.
decision to do things better. Um,
But they
but
do
it
different.
it
And
is
sometimes it's
different.
not better.
That is
But
true.
they don't know that. They
Yeah,
don't
that
know
is
that
true.
yet. Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah. And that's how
But
I
you
feel.
you learn better and then you do
Correct.
better. And I think there's a lot of knowledge that our parents and our grandparents didn't have, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Yeah, no, and I say that now. I have a respect for my mom now. Like I still be wishy washy with her. I love my mom, whatever. But like, we have our moments. But I see it where she did differently from what my grandma did. Right.
Absolutely.
I know how my grandma was. She did differently. My grandma even now is different from how she was. As a grandma, but it wasn't better in some areas.
Hmm.
But my mom wouldn't have known that because for her, it was better than how she was raised. And it was
Hmm.
different from how she was raised. But for me, it wasn't better. It was
Yes.
different, but it was
Hmm.
not better. And the intention behind it is like, well, I could be like my mom. I could, do these things. And I didn't. I chose to do differently. I chose to do better for you, for her, right?
Hmm.
She's healing her things through us the same way now I'm healing my things through my kids. And in a sense of like, I see my son now and he's like entitled. Okay, this child is entitled. He's like, I don't care if that breaks. I'll just tell my grandma she'll buy me another one. And he's not wrong because she will. Okay, but that's the privileged life that he's living right now.
Yes.
And I'm happy for him, but also I have to be like, but no, sir, you're not gonna be reckless and destructive just because you can, And I
Right.
have to be like, I will take whatever your grandma give you and I'll put it away too because that's what I can do.
Put it back. And they are. You know what though? I can't even be mad at the sense of entitlement that these kids have because we do it to them. Like I shit you not. Every time we go out of our door, and get into our car, first thing that comes out of Jordan's mouth, oh, we're gonna go to the store and get some new cars. Um, sir.
I mean, are you asking me?
And that's the thing. It's like, we are going to the store. I probably am gonna buy you a new car just because they're like $2. But
Shut up.
who are you talking to? Like, I don't have to buy you a new car, but we do. And I think it's such a delicate dance, like giving your child like the things that they desire, and then also teaching them like, hey, we love and appreciate the things that we have, we care
Right.
for the things that we have. Sometimes we're not in a position to get new things.
Mm,
Sometimes we just got to be appreciative for the things that we do have.
yes.
And but
We get what we get and we
I
appreciate it. That's what we say in my house.
love that we get what we get, and we get what we get and we appreciate it. I was yelling at Jordan. um but yeah, these little suckers are entitled.
Yeah.
And what do you do? Like, what do you say? How do you explain that to a
We
2-year-old?
give some
Yeah.
perspective. Like my 6 year old's old enough now. Like we for Christmas, we always do our 12 days, and one of them is a day of service.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so,
Mhm.
I'm like, because Christmas for us and for me, it's not about like the gifts and things like that. We don't even buy our kids gifts really. It's about the time we can spend together and just the to me, it's the spirit of Christmas. I love it,
I love
but
that.
giving back is always a big part of it. And sometimes we do shoebox for soldiers where we'll pack up essential things, mail them off to soldiers overseas. This year, though, we did to our local food bank. We donated a lot of our food. We overstock anyway, so we donated a lot of our food. And my son didn't want to get out of the car and take the box to donate it.
Oh
He was
no.
like, "But that's our food. What if we don't have enough?
Oh.
What if I don't? Why do we have to give food to other people anyway? Why can't
Hmm.
they just go buy it themselves?" And so we had to have these conversations on people can't necessarily afford to do that, right? Like
Hmm.
our food isn't going to go away because we are in a place where we have enough food. We
Yeah.
have an abundance,
Yeah.
right? We have so much that we can give to other people, and that's a privilege that we
Hmm.
have. But they don't have that. And so we can give them away knowing that we'll be able to have more,
Hmm.
and then they'll be able to have this for them. But he was like, well, I don't want to do it. So we're like, okay, sir, now we're going to have one day a month where you volunteer and understanding that the life you live could be a lot different.
Yeah.
And no, it's not everything you want or you see your other friends with, but it could be a lot less than what you have.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Me and your daddy will tell you it's a lot more than what we had.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
So giving them a little perspective, but also understand like we don't make them feel bad about
Yeah.
it because we built this life for you. We
Hmm.
don't make you feel bad,
Hmm.
but we also know that our job is also to give you a little perspective to say, oh, I could have another life. I could have, and we know things can change in an instant, right? Like
Yes.
so your life could look different at any moment, but I'm gonna appreciate what I have. I'm gonna respect the folks who don't have it, and
Hmm.
I'm gonna go for more. That's perfectly okay too. But we got to give them that full perspective of all that.
Absolutely. And I honestly, I love that. We're gonna start doing that in my house. Okay. Days of service. Love that. But yeah, that I think that's beautiful. Definitely. I've always enjoyed service.
Yeah,
Even growing up, I was always very excited about doing community service when I was growing up. So yes, that is, yeah, I love
yeah.
that.
And it's for me, I was like, that was my favorite thing in high school when I had to do it for like clubs and stuff. When
Hmm.
you become an adult, you have to decide that on your own. It's like, oh, I'm so tired. Do I have
Yeah.
the energy?
Then you got to go schedule it and actually get it to
Yes.
fit in your calendar. Look at us sounding entitled. That's crazy. And we wonder where they get it from. Oh my goodness.
Oh my
Oh.
goodness. No, but this is background, right? Like this is where we're coming from.
Mhm.
This is where we speak when we say these things about our children, ourselves, being a mom, owning businesses, all of it. Like this is where we're talking from, like just so multifaceted
Mhm.
and just healed, still discovering.
Mhm.
Like it's wild to me. Like this whole idea of just the way people can exist and humans can exist and like free will
Mhm.
is just like brand new to me over the last month or so. And it's crazy to go on this journey and be like, how am I still figuring stuff out? Like I got 3 decades in the game now.
And those 3 decades didn't count for nothing
Not a damn
because
thing.
goodness, it takes you to 30 to realize I knew nothing. I knew nothing about life. I knew nothing about experience. Like I knew nothing. And
Yeah.
even now, today, knowing I still don't know anything.
Yep.
Like I'm still learning. I'm still growing. Everybody's, I see everybody get so like, oh my God, I'm 30. I hit 30. Truly, really and truly, 30 has been for me the start of life. I don't
Yes.
know how else to explain it. It's
Yes.
almost as if the last 30 years I was just growing.
Yep.
But I will say this, for me, becoming a mother, the moment. I got pregnant, it's almost as if my brain shifted. Like
Girl.
it just finally switched on completely. Um, and you change, you grow, you become this completely different individual
Mm-hmm.
in a way that you can't even begin to
Yep.
fathom. Because I know I'm not the person that I was 3 years ago.
No.
And it's so crazy to see the changes and just the differences in the way that I think and the way that I move and the way that I allow my emotions to, kind of carry me through life right now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and just learning to embrace the different transitions and the different changes. And the the wildest part about this entire experience for me
Yeah.
thus far has been the way people have reacted to my changes.
Oh, people don't like boundaries and change.
Oh my goodness, I there is no part of me out of all of the books that you read, all of the studying and parenting education and classes that you take, not one lesson was about how people are going to react to your transition into motherhood. I
Yes.
know for me, I lost friends.
Yep.
Um, I my relationship with family members has become strained.
Girl.
um there are people who don't even come around anymore, and it's not like I have not welcomed these people around, but it's like, hey, you can come, but this is how we do things in this household now.
Oof.
It's not the same Jasmine. And I am not afraid to admit, Jasmine, I used to love me a good time, a good party, and a good tequila.
Girl, still do,
Still do,
but
still
I hear
still
you.
do the
Yep.
tequila.
Yep. Yep.
But your priorities change when you become a mother, and for me, in the best
Yep.
way. Because I don't, I, I don't need to go out. Like, it's like I don't need to go out and party
Mm.
and hang out with people. Like, I'm okay being home. Like, I'm okay being here with my child. I'm okay. Like, is it hard? Yes, but this is
Yeah.
where I would rather
Yeah.
be. Um, and people, it has been such a crazy experience to just see people, and I'm really trying to tread lightly as I say this, but
Why? Okay, because what we not gonna do, okay? We not gonna protect our
yeah,
abusers.
it's I honestly, I don't even think that people understand how abusive it can be
Yes.
to fight the changes that we're making.
Yes.
Um, because you have to change to parent well. You have to
Yes.
change. You have to transition to be an intentional parent, to be a parent that creates a safe environment. You have to put up boundaries, and you
Yeah.
you have to let people know you can come this far, but
Yep.
this is it. This is
That's
where
it.
that line is, and it's not just for my kid. It's for me
Yep.
too, because regardless of how I feel, every day, 24 hours a day, 365 days a week, I got to be a
Yeah.
mother, regardless of how I feel. So if you coming around here is taking away from me showing up for my kid, there's a limit to how close we can be. Like, there is a limit to, um, what I can give you and what
Mhm.
I can take from you, because the trans,
Name names, Jasmine. Name names. Okay, you being too vague for me. All right. Listen. Okay, it's our first episode. We're not trying. We are not trying to to cause any controversy
yeah,
yet, but it will be controversial because here's the thing: we do. That's what, as Black women, as moms, we do try to protect
yeah,
the people around. We just do
yeah,
that, and it's like, no, I'm naming names. Okay, you hurt me.
yeah,
You hurt me. And regardless of how you want to respond to that or how you feel about that, the truth is I was hurt. All right.
yes.
And so I'm going to respond how I need to protect myself, my
Hmm.
family, my
Hmm.
kids. But you hurt me. And I'm going to name your name because why am I protecting you? You don't care about, not hurting me. Okay, that's just me. Okay, that's my unhealed part talking right there.
No, and I get it. I think right now, because I did. I was talking to my therapist because I was like, I don't know. Right now, I feel like I'm in this season. I feel like I've gone through a lot of the things that I've gone through pregnancy and postpartum
Yeah.
because we had to do
Yeah.
this. I am a big believer that sometimes God, universe, whatever you want to call it, is going to put you in a position to be the person that it needs you to be.
Yeah.
And so in therapy, I told my therapist, I was like, I know this is, I'm finna rock the fuck out of this boat when I start talking. Like
Yes.
I know I am, and it's no ill
No,
will. Like no love
no.
lost. Um,
It's facts from your perspective, how you can
but
see.
people need to know how damaging it can be for them to show up in the wrong way for
Yep.
mothers. Pregnancy and motherhood. I don't know that if people know that full-term pregnancy is the closest, full-term pregnancy and birth is the closest a human being can get to death and still live. Like,
For what?
and it's not,
But
I don't know how else to say that to people. Like, you're on the brink of death when you're trying to have your
and
child.
some people literally, right? And I know your stories are different from mine, and we will get into birth stories.
Yeah.
We don't have time in our first one to get into birth stories, all right? We might
Right.
have to break that up into a
Woo.
few, right? Because we got three birth stories. We got a few to get through, but you're absolutely right. Like, I struggle. I used to love hearing birth stories. I used to love hearing about how babies were conceived and born and all that stuff. And to me now, they're so triggering. They are so traumatic for me sometimes because it literally, I swear to you, most starts with, girls, that on the table. But, blah, 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 blah.
Especially as black and brown women.
Yes.
And that's what is so traumatizing, hearing these stories and knowing that we're all going through
Yeah.
this. Like, knowing that knowing that a person that you love and care for so dearly was the closest that they ever been and could have ever been to death. And then you come in this house and the first thing you got to say to somebody is, you keep eating them cookies, you're never gonna lose this weight. Bitch, what?
But
First of all, I'm just glad to be here today because
this is the only thing I've eaten in days.
like, hello, I'm hungry. They had to cut me in half and pull out a human, and
Oh,
I wanted a cookie because I was traumatized. Like, I don't know, but
listen.
people need to know, and today is not the day to get into it, but people need to know how damaging it is.
Yeah.
Not because, not because I need any resolve, but because there are women who are not
Correct.
prepared. There are partners who don't understand.
Yep.
There are family members who feel like the way that they show up is
Yep.
enough. And the truth is, it is not.
Yep.
It is not enough.
Yep.
And it's not enough. And it's not, I won't say it's our fault. It's a lack of education.
Yeah.
And so, yes, stories got to be told to
Yeah.
educate people. And
They can't be whitewashed, and they can't
yeah,
be sugar coated,
yeah,
and they can't be, oh, I'm gonna, because that's what people get
yeah.
now. People don't talk about that first poop after a baby. People don't talk about the hunger from breastfeeding, right? People don't talk about like
Yo.
the crazy hormone, just like that you go through. These are things that people aren't talking about, not explicitly, not sugarcoating it, because they're like, we don't want to scare you. No, bitch, scare me. Okay?
Scare me.
Scare
I
me.
wish somebody had scared me. And it's not to say that I wouldn't have done it. It's just to say I could have prepared differently.
Correct.
I could have been, yes, baby, I could have been just more aware of what
Yep.
was about to take place. There is no reason. There is no reason that everybody I know that has children, nobody told me anything.
And then afterwards, when you say it, they're like, oh, yeah, girl, it happened to me
And
too. Or,
wait,
yeah, I understand. Like, why would you not tell me that? And it's because we're trying to protect each other, right? We're trying to,
yes.
like, we don't want to scare you. Pregnancy is so blah, 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 blah. Sure, right? It is. But that's what we're not going to do, okay?
Mhm,
Stories from mamas, we are not sugarcoating it. We gonna
mhm,
scare you, probably,
mhm.
okay? But the thing is, we also know and can get you to resources to help you, support you, all of
Yes.
that as well.
Yeah.
That is the other side of it. Too much, there's like this fear and like, all right, go off and deal with it. Good luck.
Yeah.
No, 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 no. We're gonna give you the real, but we're also gonna give you resources to be like, girl, we got you.
Yes.
Friend, we got you. Mama,
Yes.
parent, we got you because we get it. We
Hmm.
understand from our personal perspective, from our careers, from just life. We get it. Like,
Hmm.
but we're not gonna sugarcoat
Yeah.
it because I'm tired of sugarcoating it. I told you, y'all know I'm tired.
Ooh, girl, woke up today. That's the first thing out of my mouth. And it's not even. It's be like, yes, I'm tired because we've been up with the baby, but it's an emotional exhaustion.
That's it.
And if anybody like follows me on my personal page, I'm very transparent about depression and postpartum depression.
Yes.
I truly believe that if we did more to educate people and support people about what is coming and what to expect, we could cut down these numbers of postpartum depression,
Mm.
especially in Black and brown people. Like
Yep.
it's we got to stop trying to save face, um,
Yes.
because there's no reason. What you said earlier is like, while you're pregnant and before you go through it, nobody really says anything. But then after, everybody's like, "Oh yeah," there's no reason that I should feel like my experience is so. Oh, this is so
Unique.
crazy. This is
Yep.
so unique. Like I went through so
Yep.
much. No, like everybody is going through this. So why is nobody talking about it? And so somebody has to break the silence. And I've always been too much, and I've always talked too much, and I've always been dramatic. So
Yes.
I am the drama, and so
And
we're here
that's
for
why
the
we're here,
drama.
friend.
It's gonna get real dramatic over here, okay?
Okay, because we too dramatic, we too much, okay? We too emotional, and frankly, that's too damn bad if you don't like it, okay?
It is what it is. We're gonna call Dr. Phil. He'll come sit in, and we'll do what we gotta do. But it's time. It's been time. And I'm thankful for you, friend. I just gotta say that because I needed some. He said it's Jordan in there saying that it's time. It's all time.
Yes, baby, even he know it's time.
But I am so thankful for you because, and we got to share our story about how we met and how
Yes.
PhysioPhit came to be. But yes, this just having somebody who is ready to just break down these walls and these barriers and break the silence.
Yes.
Because I know there's going to be a lot of backlash. I know it's going to be some people that don't talk to us for a while, but it's okay. We got
Fine, I
each
don't
other,
want my phone
girl.
going off anyway. It's on Do Not Disturb. Don't call me anyway.
Period. Because none of y'all got this new number anyway. Like,
No,
but
I am appreciative for you, honestly, because what you said, right, coming full circle, when I turned 30, which y'all, my birthday's next week, but turned 32. But when I turned 30 a couple years ago, I truly had this moment where I was like, it was a big shift because people are like, oh, girl, it's about to go downhill. You're going to wake up and everything's going to hurt. And I was like, why is it that I turned 30 and I just start falling apart and just degrading? Like, what?
no.
And so I decided that that was going to be my best year. My year, 30, from 30 to 31 was my best year. I rocked all the boats. I literally had a motto that was like, surrender the outcome. I didn't care whose feelings I hurt. I didn't care.
Nope.
Like, and I say when I got into hard situations and had to make choices, I literally said, surrender the
Ooh,
outcome. It was no back and
Jesus.
forth. It
Mm-hmm.
was, what do I want to do? Stand on that. And that's what I did. So
Period.
30 was a pivotal year for me. And even a lot of my healing came and started to happen in that year and how I wanted to show up as a mom.
Mm-hmm.
Because up until I swear to you, 2 years ago and probably this last year, I did not love being a mom.
Mm-hmm.
I've never loved being a mom of my children more than I do right now.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm trying not to cry because I was like, not in the first episode.
Girl,
But
you see my eyeballs. I've been sucking them back inside all day.
because we're emotional.
Well,
But it's because I shifted how I felt about being a mom, about being this person, about that title, about the things
mhm.
that I had to present and like how my children had to present. So no, this was a time where I was like, I'm tired of, and I'm so tired, right? I've used that word so much because it's true. I'm tired of being around people who don't understand me, being
Mhm.
around the people who are telling me I'm too much,
People who don't want to
who
understand.
are determined to misunderstand
Yeah.
me. Okay? People who are determined to misunderstand me. And
Mhm.
I don't fit into your box, so I must be the problem.
And it's
Instead of
okay. I'm the
I'm the
drama.
drama.
Let's be the drama.
Finding boxes that I want to be in. Finding people I want to be too much with. Like that has been where this came from. And so even being open to friendship and relationships like ours, where it's like, no, girl, I get it. We get it. We understand. And like
Yeah.
that has been healing in itself, like a
Yes.
huge part of it. Because I mean, I look back now, I was like, I was a very unregulated person. Okay.
Woo! Okay.
Unregulated. Okay.
Hmm.
I had big emotions, no use an idea of how to appropriately manage them from childhood to early 20s to 30. Shit. Like even now, I have to really work on it because I feel things big and I take impulsive, radical actions on shit.
Okay.
And like that's not in your early 20s, that's cute and fun and like whatever. But you get older, you got responsibilities and kids, like you can't be making decisions like that
Hmm.
and not regulating how you're feeling and doing things based off of those emotions versus taking facts and logic into it as well. So
Hmm.
you caught me in a very great phase of life. Okay. Like
Yes. And
um
you know what? I think it's crazy because it's twofold because I got pregnant, I believe I was 27. I
mhm,
could be lying, but I got pregnant at 27, and I going through the experience, I thoroughly believe that there is a transition that happens.
yeah,
Well, there's a choice that happens in motherhood.
yep,
Um and you have it's there is this change that happens mentally, and I've been doing research on it. I'm gonna keep doing it, but there's this mental rewiring, and
yeah,
you have this choice to either lean into it and become this elevated version of yourself, because there is certain parts of our mind that I just don't believe you can unlock until you become a mom,
I agree.
because they're just, it's something about creating a person out of nothing that is, it is one of the most spiritual experiences, whether, like, regardless of what you believe in, like, you are
Yeah,
creating something out of literally nothing. I mean, yes, sperm cells and egg cells,
yeah,
it's just nothing.
yeah.
It's a dot on a piece of paper, and then a person came out of me because of that. Like, and
Oh,
you can either step into this transition and become this elevated version of yourself, or you can choose to remain the person that you are. I don't know that there's a right or wrong choice, but I happened to become a mother right as I was about to turn 30. And so
mm,
I got hit from like so many different directions.
like
And
positions. Yep.
yes, and obviously, they say your brain doesn't start, it isn't like fully developed until like 25,
Yeah.
26.
Hmm.
And then you start shifting as you get 30. And people like, oh, everything declines when you're 30. There's a choice. You choose to decline
Thank
when you
you.
get 30, because, honey, this bitch be in the gym. Ain't no decline. I woke up and I was 30 and I felt my knee hurt. We going to the gym. We ain't doing that, because I'm gonna be the grandma at 65 still lifting weights. But it,
As you
it's
should.
it's a physical change, it's a mental change, and it can be the most beautiful transition if you allow it to be, and if you know how to let it be that
Yes. And if you
also.
make that choice, because you're absolutely right. It was a choice, right? Like I said, I made the choice to go the other way. I did not hit no gym because why? I love I love my body and fitness and all that, but like I'm not going to a gym.
Yes,
But
you
I
are.
did
I'm
make that
coming to
choice.
get you.
I love you, friend. I do. But I want to continue to love you.
I'm not gonna train you, because I know that'll like mess up our relationship. I didn't call everything but a child of God in the gym. Okay, I got it on camera too. I'll show you.
But no, you're right. Like it's a choice that you make. Like and that's where we're at. We're making these choices now. Like and continue to make these choices. We're making these choices to share these stories. We're making these choices to support other women, moms, parents. Like we're making these choices now that like there shouldn't be the time's up like on just allowing things to be as they are, to
Yeah.
not rock the boat, to sit back and just take what's offered to us. Yeah, no, we're asking for more, we're demanding more, and if you're not able to do it, that's not my problem,
Mm.
that's yours.
And it may not, it's I don't even think it's a
It's
problem.
not.
Like, it's your
Yes.
choice as well. Like, it's your
Yes.
prerogative.
Yes.
And everybody knows this phrase, but like, change doesn't happen where you're comfortable.
Nope.
So, I mean, yes, we're over here, we talking our shit, like, but these were not comfortable transitions. These were not easy choices. Like, we had to go through things and decide,
Yeah.
I'm going to step out of my safe space because a change has to be made. I've always been the person, I don't like to rock the boat. Like, I'm a little firecracker, and if you take me there, I'll
Oh no.
go there. But to be the person to say, like, we're about to go, like, you, because literally that's what we're about to do. That is how we're about to shake up the views around motherhood. Like,
Mm-hmm.
we're about to go. Like, we're gonna go toe to toe with the system, because it's time. The
Yes.
numbers are outrageous. The statistics are disheartening. It's
Yes.
depressing. It is discouraging,
Yes.
and silence has done nothing for us.
Okay, please.
Nothing. My mother, my grandmother, like they're having these same experiences. Like it's 50, 60 years later from when, everybody's having kids and we're still
Yeah.
dying on the table.
Yes.
We're still the ones with the highest rate of postpartum depression and
Oh,
anxiety. Like there's no reason for it. Well, there is a reason, and it's because of the silence and the acceptance and just allowing things to be what they are, and us being stuck in this space of let's save face. Let's
yes.
not show people our
Yep.
struggles.
No, ma'am. No, I struggle a lot. Okay. My therapist literally asked me the other day if I have fear of failure. I said, oh, no. I fail all the time.
I've done that too much.
I've done that too much. I said, no. She said, oh, okay. So this is fear of success. I said, yeah, no, that's more the fear. Yeah, 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 no. Like, fear of fail. No, not at all. Like, we struggle. Okay. We're going to show that. But again, we're here. We're going to scare you a little bit. We're going to show you the struggle, but we're going to show you the uprise, right? We're going to show you all the other things that come with it that just give them a full picture. That's what people want and need, a full
Yeah.
picture. Like, don't tell me all the good things about being a parent. Tell me about those days when you ready to leave these kids like at their home and just like don't come back. I want to know those days. I want to know, how do you come back from that?
Because
Like
there is a dark side to parenting. There is a
that.
dark side to motherhood.
Yes.
And it is dark.
Yep.
It is deep. It
Yep.
can be
Yep.
scary. And if you are blindsided by it,
Yep.
it can be consuming. And
Oof.
yeah, it's time to light up these dark spaces. And
Yeah.
so people know, like, it's not normal. It is not normal, but you're not unique for experiencing these experiences.
Yeah.
We normalize it and say, like, oh, baby blues, it's fine. You'll feel this way. No, it's not normal. You should not feel this way. But you do.
Yep.
And a lot of people do feel this way. So, how do we help?
Well, that's what Stories from Mamas is gonna do. This is
Mhm.
this is what we're gonna do, right? We're gonna help. We're gonna get the resources out there, and this is our first episode.
That's
Like,
good.
it's been so much fun. Like,
Mhm.
these are the conversations that we had that I think really built our relationship.
Yeah.
And I think we should get into that next time. Like, where did our relationship come from? And then, like, how do we bond over being moms? And then, like, let's get into some birth stories a little bit.
Okay.
Let's go through conception and birth stories. I think that'll be a great way for us to go into our next episodes. But y'all, we want to know, like, what do you want to hear?
Yes.
What are the questions that you have? What stories do you want to share? Like, we want to hear your stories, okay?
Yes.
You can email us. It is PhysioPhitHSV@gmail.com. So email us, like, questions, stories, whatever. We want to read them. We want to connect with you in that way.
Mhm.
You can also connect with us on Instagram, which is where we're recording this at. It is PhysioPhit HSV on Instagram. We're also on Facebook, PhysioPhit. If you need me to spell that, because I get you spelling, it is PhysioPhitHSV. Okay, you put that in Instagram, Facebook, our email, and that's how you're gonna find us. But our own personal social medias, we have those as well. We got what, Mama Psycho.
Yes. Mama Psycho _
Okay. And then Your Pelvic Ally, where we share, fitness-based things, but also pelvic health things as well. But we want to connect with you. We want to bring you the things that you want to hear as we share our own stories and other stories of other moms. But we have been so excited and to do this and get this first episode recorded. So connect with us. We will see you again. We said consistently. Okay.
Yes. And I also want to point there's no right or wrong questions. If you want to remain anonymous about some things, if it's something you want to share, that's fine. We love helping people through, if you want to share your story, like if you want to talk about an experience, but you're not necessarily as comfortable as we are putting everybody's business out on Front Street. Like, I get
Names
it.
are names.
I'll give you one name next
Okay.
week, okay? One. We gotta eat. I gotta make some phone calls and get some NDA papers and stuff. But no, this is a safe space, and we want it to be a safe space for anybody who chooses to go on this journey with us. And even if you just want to listen, we love you. Follow us on our personal pages. We're about to start drop our YouTube, so go ahead and like and subscribe to our YouTube page. Yeah, if you're a mama who's sick of the system, Just be prepared to share. You ain't got to do nothing but like, comment, and share, and we will do the heavy lifting.
Yay! Okay, bye, friends.
Bye.